Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden, and I thought I'd give you a little update into my training, racing, and something interesting that I discovered today about my identity and attachment. So on Sunday, October 17th, I hopefully will be running in the USA Track and Field National Masters Cross Country Championships in Boston. And I say hopefully because I broke my toe 2 nights ago. I was walking barefoot around the studio, picking things up, and I slammed it into my elliptical machine, and it is a nasty mess. So I did some experiments yesterday on the elliptical and roller skiing, and it was decent. Then last night I did a Bigfoot light on my treadmill, and that only hurt it a little. So today I'm going to try some more walking and getting up on my toes a little bit more to see if it's something I can tolerate. I'm taping it to the toe next door, which has been broken several times too, so it's a fun looking foot. Anyway, why this is significant in this moment is that, let's say a month and a half ago, I was not doing any kind of running, racing at all. And the USA Track and Field New England Cross Country Grand Prix started up in September. And I thought, let's just go and see what kind of fitness I have just by roller skiing, elliptical, and my Bigfoot light. Maybe I was running once a week up a mountain locally, but it's hard to really call that running because you're going super, super slow, 12-minute mile pace, 15-minute mile pace. So I haven't really run faster than a 10-minute mile in a long time when these races started up. So I thought, let's just go and see what I can do with this huge volume of cross training that I'm engaging in since January. And I don't know, let's find out what's possible. Well, the result was pretty promising. I got the highest age graded time. So there's a formula that you can look up, age grading calculator online, and you can see at your age what your equivalent time would be compared to the world record overall. So they've put lots of thought into this. They look at athletes as they age who have been Olympians and world record holders, and they also look at the average person, age groupers, and they come up with this handicapping essentially. So at this New England cross-country race, I had the highest age-graded number, which was really surprising because there were some very fast guys there. And I ended up 3rd overall, which also was very surprising. So that got me thinking, maybe I should do the New England Grand Prix, do the other races, and just see if I can improve, see if a race a week or every other week will build fitness for racing. And I've done 3 races now, and that has been the case. So I'm leading the series for age graded, and 2 weeks ago I entered the New England Trail Running Championships, also put on by USA Track and Field and my buddy Dave Dunham and Steve Peterson. And I got 3rd overall, broke the record for my age on the course, and ran a very fast time considering that I'm not running. And this is a 15K, so 9.3 miles. And that again was super, super surprising. So, okay, I think I am ready to do something bigger. So the national championships in Boston showed up on my radar, like, all right, let's really consider doing this and doing well. Let's see if we can get on the podium. But in this 15K race, I wore racing flats and wrecked my soleus. By the way, in the 2 previous cross-country races I did prior to that, a 5K and an 8K, my soleus were pretty banged up. It took like 5 days to recover from each of those races because I'm not running. So this 15K really put me over the top, and it wasn't just my soleus, but it went up into my calf as well. And so I haven't done any kind of running since, and that's almost 2 weeks now. And it's still a little, still a little sensitive. I definitely pulled the calf muscle. So now I got a broken toe. I've had a cold for like the last 9 days, which, by the way, is the first illness I've had since COVID started in early 2020. Washing my hands, wearing a mask, social distancing. I've not gotten any kind of sickness at all. And that's with 2.5 hours of training volume a day for a really long time. So my immune system is smoked, and I've avoided everything until just recently. But I'm coming out the other side of the cold. So anyway, what is most interesting to me here is that this started as an experiment. Well, it started as an experiment last December of 2020 when I realized that my ankle, something was up, torn tendon, tendinitis, who knows what. And it wasn't allowing me to run, not even in my big boots. I couldn't even boot slog. So I started Nordic skiing, which was so tough to start. Oh my God, it's such a difficult, exhausting sport. But I built myself up. Then when the snow disappeared, I got a pair of roller skis, and I've been roller skiing almost every day since the end of April, doing my elliptical, doing my Bigfoot lights on the treadmill, and just seeing what kind of base fitness I can create without running. So when I started doing well in these races, I thought, that's more good data. I've got the American record in 2019 with just my Bigfoot walking. I've got a sub 16 minute 5K when I was maybe 48 or 49, I forget. And I did that with the Bigfoot walking. I wasn't running prior to that race. So more and more I'm accumulating evidence that these alternative training styles work. So how fun would it be to go to a national championship and get on the podium and not be running as you're training? So that's a fun thought. But what I noticed yesterday with the recognition that my toe may prevent me from showing up and the calf injury has prevented me from doing any kind of maintenance running to keep the fitness I had and maybe even improve it a bit, I had to skip a race this past weekend, which would have been another hard effort to give me the mental space to tolerate running race pace, because race pace is really a mental thing more than it's a physical thing, and I'm not quite used to it yet, so I'm not getting my heart rate up to where it needs to be. So anyway, there's a lot of things that have kind of converged on me not doing well at the national championships. And then I looked at who was registered, and most of the top guys in the country over 50 are going to be there. And they're good. I mean, the 50 and over category is stacked with some really extraordinary athletes. So I know there's at least 6 guys that can beat me, at least 6, probably more. And when I'm running, these guys are right there in the mix with me. So not running, dealing with injuries, and showing up in a stacked field doesn't bode well for being on the podium. But again, what is most valuable to me in this moment and why this video is taking place, my identity got attached to being on the podium. Even though that was just a thought, like how fun would it be to not run and make a podium? And the more I imagined that, and the more excited I got, and the more really extraordinary results I've been getting, the more that felt like something that was already mine. And now I feel like it's being taken away. And then seeing who's signed up for the race, it's like, oh crap, what's definitely being taken away? But it was never mine to begin with. I started to identify with it, even though it was just a playful thought experiment. Suddenly my identity came in, took ownership, and said, yeah, that is who I am. I'm the guy who doesn't run, who can be on the podium at a national championship. Yeah, that's going to be really good for my brand. And it's funny to me because this is just a thought experiment. I started doing these cross-country races back in early September just to get a measurement of where I am. Like, okay, how fast can I run? I don't expect myself to run fast, but I want to find out so that I can see how much work I have to do to move myself into running fitness. Like, how far away am I? But I know I'm not there. And the results in these races were not extraordinary, but they were really good. They were good enough to get me to think that, oh, wow, I could actually potentially podium. So it's so important to look at your goals and to recognize where your identity is getting attached to its imagined outcome before you've even run the race. And I talk so much about process versus results. And this entire year for me has been about process. It's been about experimentation. It's about training without a plan. It's about training without a goal. It's just about continually finding ways to empower myself physically and mentally and immerse myself in the process and not care what the outcome is. And now suddenly my brain just collapsed on the outcome. And so now I've got to inflate it again. I've got to increase that focus on process and let go of the result and show up on Sunday, if I do indeed go, and just be in the process of running the race. And who cares about the result if I'm in each moment of that race and I'm empowered and I'm working with all my tools to get the best performance possible given my training, given my injuries. Well, that's what this is all about for me now. And my identity is like, no, it isn't. It's about the result. But it's not. And I just have to keep reminding myself that I'm more than just my identity. Even though my identity wants to sit in the driver's seat and get all the attention, that's just a small part of who I am. And that being someone in process is so much more powerful. And if I go to this race or not, it doesn't matter. There will be plenty of races in the future, but there'll be more process. And that's really what lights me up. I guess the results only matter when I think about how other people view what I'm doing. But when I look at what I'm doing, it's always process. It's always about the experiment. And it's only when I think about how I'll be perceived by others that I care about the result. And that's what identity is. It's a relational management system within you. Okay, so if you've got a goal and you're finding yourself prior to the event feeling like something has been taken away, check in and find out whose goal is it? And ultimately, what is the goal of the bigger picture? To become someone who grows in the midst of a process, or someone who can claim a particular result? All right, let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll see you soon.